Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome in to another 2024 U.S. presidential election video. Today, I'm going to be looking at Donald Trump's easiest path to 270, analyzing it. We've been talking about, can he get 350 electoral votes? Can he get 400? But what is Donald Trump's actually easiest path just to getting to 270? Right now, people are already saying he's locked in at 268. The election's almost a lock at this point. There's also more polling that's come out. It says Kamala's up by 3 on Trump. It's total crap, but it might lend some credence to them subbing out Biden. And now it's all come out, just like I said last night. George Clooney, it's turned out he's a total Obama butt plug. He asked Obama, he said, do I have permission to talk out against Biden? Obama said, you can do whatever you want. It's clear that they want Biden out at this point. And we're going to go through some of these tweets. We've got some different stuff, some different polls to look at. But again, the first thing in this video I'm going to go through, you can see I actually haven't even refreshed this in a while. So I want to make sure this is the accurate data. So we're going to use this model, which basically gives a percent chance to try and get to 270 as easy as possible. Trying to make sure all the states are almost locked for Trump. Now, we can't get to 270 in terms of, the locks because he would have already won the election. But there are, I would say, maybe we get to like 250 electoral votes with just the auto locks for Trump. So in terms of locks, obviously Montana, Idaho, Wyoming, North Dakota, South Dakota. You do have Nebraska, all of them outside of the second. These are all locks for Donald Trump. Utah is a lock as well. Texas is a lock. Oklahoma, Kansas, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Missouri, Iowa this year, along with 2020. I know people are saying it was a swing state back in 2016, and technically it was if you looked at the polling, but these are all pure locks. I don't think anyone would disagree. Florida, I am going to put as a pure lock right now. I don't see any way Biden wins it. You do also have Ohio as a lock. You also have West Virginia as a lock, Indiana as a lock, so Trump's up to 215. Looking at all these other states, Georgia you can't put as a lock right now. Alaska's a lock. That gets Trump up to 218. And I believe, the one district also, I think. Where's the one district? Yeah, Maine second, Trump's got a 95% chance to win. So the second district in Maine, I'll say, is a lock as well. And just in terms of the pure locks, so he's going to get up to 219. Now, which states would I pick to try that are the easiest to try and just get Trump to 270? Well, if you look at the polling, you're going to be looking at a state like Georgia. Now, taking a look at Georgia, it says Trump has a 75% chance to win. Arizona's at a 78, Nevada's at a 69. So I would probably go Georgia, Arizona, both with at least right now for Trump a 75% chance to win. We'll go Georgia and Arizona right there. That gets Trump to 246 with all the other states being locks, along with Arizona and Georgia at a 75% chance to win or greater. Right now, believe it or not, Pennsylvania is at a 74% chance to win. So basically 75. Will also throw Pennsylvania in there. Now, people might disagree, but this is just the easiest way to get Trump there, get him across the finish line where we are right now in terms of polling. I said this yesterday that Pennsylvania, there's going to be good numbers that come out, and that doesn't surprise me. 74% chance to win because the last 10 polls have all been very positive for Donald Trump. I know people might disagree with that. I know Trump's polling internally said, their campaign said Pennsylvania might be the hardest state for us to win, or I don't know if they were trying to communicate it's the most important state, because it is. Pennsylvania is the most important state of the 2024 cycle. It's the pure swing state, and it's got the most electoral votes out of any pure swing state. So I said that yesterday. So now Trump's already at 265. That's with all of these states, these main ones, the dark red ones being as total locks 100%, and then these lighter shade of red all being at least a 74% chance right now according to polling. Trump's already at 265. We're not even below 70% chance at this point. And then I would say if I'm at 265, I only need like 5 more electoral votes, technically 4, because if it's a tie, Trump's going to win. But, maybe you look at a state like Nevada. Right now, Nevada's got a 69% chance for Trump to win. I would probably say, Nevada out of any of these swing states. They have Biden, the slight favorite in Minnesota right now. Wow, Wisconsin and Nevada are basically the same. I would probably disagree with that. Yeah, I would say Michigan's probably more of a toss-up than the other two Rust Belt states, at least right now. Did I fill out North Carolina? Yeah, North Carolina would be though. I think North Carolina is a total lock. So that'll get Trump right over the 270 at 281. They have North Carolina at a 79% chance right now. I would say it's like 85, 90, honestly. I think they're going to pull funding out. You can see. And right now, this is just the luxury for Trump. How easy is it to get to 281? If you look at right now, at least these analytics, the only three swing states that I gave Trump, or I guess, four swing states? Arizona, Georgia, Pennsylvania. I'd say three. You could also say North Carolina, I guess. But this is the math is just so amazing for Trump right now. The four swing states, 79% chance to win, 78% chance to win, 75% chance to win, 74% chance to win. Right now, this would be the easiest path, at least when you look at the overall numbers. What do they have? Nebraska second. Yeah, that one's, it's not that big of a deal, but it could matter if Trump really struggles in the Rust Belt, needing that district to possibly get around 270. Same thing with Maine, statewide Maine. I tweeted out, people were saying, there were like tweets, Maine is a swing state at this point, and there's a lot of pollsters that have moved Maine, or people that do these things, into the swing state category from a Democrat lean. And so this just goes to show you how easy it is. This is 281. That's 11 over what's needed. And you've just got so much breathing room. And the reason is because of Ohio and Florida. That is 47 electoral votes that in 2020, well, I guess 2020 we thought Ohio would probably go to Trump, even though the polling was close. And the Democrats were saying we can still win it, even after the Hillary loss, where everyone was shocked she lost by 8 points. That was the signal that Ohio was turning to the right. But now the luxury that the Republicans have with Ohio and Florida in the bag, it completely changes the math. And now it's the Republicans with the upper hand in terms of the election map, and they enjoy such a nice lead. So doing these maps is very easy, and I would say this is relatively the easiest way. Nevada, you could also throw Nevada in there. I think Trump leads, pretty easily there. Any other swing states? You can talk about New Jersey. Obviously, New Jersey, very likely going to be a Democrat state, even though Trump might keep it close. Virginia, Minnesota, kind of in the same realm. Trump might win, but certainly wouldn't be the easiest path for him based off of Virginia, how it voted in 2020. Same thing with Minnesota. Both of them were clear Biden states. I think they were called basically right away. Right when the polls closed, they called them because it was a heavy Biden victory. That's probably going to change in 2024. But this is what I would say would be the easiest map for Donald Trump. And then I'm just going to go through react to some of these tweets. Oh yeah, the Krassensteins. I don't know if you guys remember about the Krassenstein brothers, but I used to have an older YouTube channel. Unfortunately, it's been deleted. But like back in 2017, I did make a video about the Krassensteins because I thought it was so unique, and I feel like nobody remembers this, but these dudes, I believe how they got famous was literally just replying under every single one of Trump's tweets, and they would be like the first reply. Within the first 20 seconds, Trump would tweet something out back in 2017, 2018. This was way before Trump got banned. This was kind of earlier, on in Twitter where you couldn't get a blue check mark. It wasn't like, if you had a blue check mark, you'd be vaulted to the first reply like it is now. You just had to tweet fast enough in a reply, and Trump had so much reach. He had, so many people responding, and Twitter was so much more left then. And I was like, it was such a weird thing. These dudes, both of these brothers, just literally tweeting under every single one of Trump's tweets. It's almost like a bottom feeder when it's on the belly of like a whale, and it eats all the plankton and stuff. And that's what they were doing to Trump. They were just like, they were trying to siphon off people and trying to get exposure through his tweets. It was very strange, but I do remember that about them. We've got a new Texas poll. You've got Trump up by 9. The big thing here is the Senate. Ted Cruz up by 3. I think if Trump wins Texas by 9, I think Ted Cruz is going to win either way. Because to me, right now, there is going to be a down ballot effect. But also, if Trump's winning Texas by 9 or 10, Ted Cruz, the incumbent, losing, with the presidential going to the right by 10 points is just not going to happen. There's going to be too many people that just vote down ballot, in my opinion. Here's the scoop. Obama and George Clooney were in touch before the actor wrote his brutal op-ed suggesting Biden was a diminished man who should step aside. Obama did not encourage or advise him to write it, but he did not try and dissuade. Yeah, so Obama, I think, is calling everything, and it's already been reported this morning. They were talking on Morning Joe, and I think they were talking to like a Biden person, an advisor. He's like, They believe that Obama's behind all of it. It's admitted, that's what they're saying, and it doesn't surprise me at all. I've done videos like 3 weeks ago when this whole thing broke after the debate and the ensuing aftermath, where it's like, yes, Obama's behind the entire thing. He's the major player there, and now there's a struggle going on between Jill and Barack. So, because you can say, well, Joe Biden wants to remain in the race, and there's some people that say, I saw a tweet, it was like, well, Joe Biden, if I was Biden, I would remain in the race. Look at my legacy. Well, no, if Biden remains in the race and loses to Trump and Trump gets like 320, 330 electoral votes or even just barely wins, Biden's legacy is going to be terrible. Liberals are going to remember him as this egotistical old dude who couldn't drop out when he knew he was going to lose. You know, it's like, obviously Biden is not functional. It's such a charade. It's so embarrassing for him. I think he realized it. That's why originally it was reported that after the debate, Biden was embarrassed by his own performance and he had to get reinforcement from Jill and Hunter to remain. That's why they had that meeting in Camp David. I can pretty much guarantee you that was widespread reported, that meeting on the Sunday after the debate. The debate was like Thursday night and then they had the meeting over the weekend. If Jill and Hunter would have said drop out, I think Biden would have already dropped out at this point. Like, that's how much pull they have, and that's all, you know, being reported, and they said they encouraged him to remain in the race when he was saying that he was embarrassed by his debate performance. And so I think there's just so much pull from the family, who obviously are not, you know, strategists. They really don't care about anyone else within the Democratic Party. They just want to hang on to power. So that's why it's an issue for other Democrats who, with Democrats, normally it's this huge team thing. It's all about, you know, winning. And that's another thing that's funny, how there are other Democrats who are like, I wish we were more like the Republicans. We only care about winning. Well, based on the last like 8-10 years, all the Democrats do is care about winning. That's why now it's so foreign to them that Biden is deviating from it. Because normally you would say, all right, move as a unit. This is what we're going to do. No, but no one person is bigger than the party. Biden is going to drop out. He'll agree to it because we all think it's a good thing. But no, it's not happening that way because of Jill and Hunter. So now you've got George Clooney like asking permission, like, Daddy Obama, can I please write this? And Obama saying, yeah, go ahead. This is going to help. It's going to put pressure on Biden possibly to drop out. And now Biden's doing another exclusive interview. This campaign is a total mess. I think he's speaking somewhere. Wait, is that interview coming out next week, Monday? I think next week, Monday with NBC. And I thought he was speaking somewhere. Yeah, he's doing the big boy press conference, what they were calling it, on maybe today. Is it Thursday? I think he is doing a press conference today, so that'll be interesting. This is crazy stuff from Kiev. They want to convene a second meeting to achieve a fair peace settlement in Ukraine before the U.S. elections in November, this time with Russia attending. The push to organize the meeting before the U.S. elections points to a sense of urgency on the part of Ukraine as it faces the prospect of Trump returning to the White House. So Donald Trump, just based off the prospect alone of returning, is possibly going to get a peace deal before he even enters the White House. That's how powerful Trump is in terms of peace. And Ukraine, they know the money's going to dry up. Trump is going to make sure that you know, Russia pays their fair share. It's not just going to be Russia taking over everything. They're just going to get the 2 eastern territories and maybe a non-aggression pact, something like that. But Ukraine realizes the money train is going to dry up with Trump coming in. And so Trump is creating peace before he even enters the White House. This is historic. Trump needs to use this 100%. Look at what they're doing. They're meeting for peace talks under the prospect that I get back into the White House. I haven't even won the election. The election's in 4 months, and they're already possibly convening and talking about doing meetings, trying to reach a peace settlement. I am the peace god. I'm the peace president. I can force countries into peace without even being in power. That's how seismic I am. That's what I would say if I'm Trump, because it says it right here. They're worried that Trump's going to be back in the White House. The money train's going to dry up. We're going to stop with the wars. We've got Russia-Taiwan about to kick off soon. We need to focus on that. And we're going to figure this European situation out. And also, I think Trump's very pissed off at NATO, the way Europe has been acting the past few weeks, the elections, the socialists taking over there, Biden at the little NATO summit, whatever, speaking there. I think NATO is in a deep world of trouble. I think there's going to have to be, I mean, NATO right now is a horrible deal for the United States. Trump knew that. Whether or not the countries are paying their 2% of GDP, it doesn't matter. The United States has such a bigger military. that whole agreement needs to be restructured in a more favorable way for the United States, and we can do that, and we can really write the terms however we want. I don't care if there's an agreement already in place, it doesn't matter. Our military is so much more powerful than all of the militaries in Europe. They will be forced to agree to whatever terms we want. That's why I pushed for the NATO tax, where other countries have to literally pay us money for us to even be in NATO because we're so much more powerful than they are, and they're going to be forced to pay it. And if they don't want to pay it, that's fine. We'll create other agreements with Russia and China. That'll be great for Europe. So we can force these countries into better deals and just getting free money from Europe. And really, this is their own fault. They're the ones that want to be socialists. They can be socialists. We're not in agreement with that type of, rule. And so they're going to have to pay for it. But I don't really think Trump's going to do that. All Trump said was he wants countries to pay their fair share. And then Biden talks about it during the summit, saying only 9 countries were, putting 2% of their GDP to military. Now it's 23. Yeah, that was because of Trump. It was all because of Trump putting pressure on the NATO countries. Even liberals will admit that. That's why they threw a big stink in Europe with all the propaganda. When it's the same thing with the Paris Accord. Like the Paris Accord is so inconsequential to the United States and how we deal with CO2 emissions. We have a much stricter standard in terms of polluting the air than what the Paris Accord says. The Paris Accord is just us basically giving poorer countries billions of dollars to help try and fight climate change in their countries, not in our country. And Trump couldn't convey that properly, so people took it as, oh, Trump hates the environment. Well, no, it was just us sending poor countries money. We're already investing heavily into all this climate crap, and that's why our emissions went down under Trump. They went down several years under Trump, and it wasn't because of the pandemic. It was happening in 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019. The emissions are going lower. And you could say, well, it was Obama's policies, but I mean, maybe in 2017, but 2018, 2019, that was us out of the Paris Accord as well. Politico now reports a few dozen delegates here it is, are organizing a petition requesting rule changes so that the party nomination is a secret ballot with delegates allowed to vote however they wish. We could get some serious fireworks at the DNC. And now the rumors are kicking off that maybe Taylor Swift might be a potential choice for the Democrats in terms of president. I'm not even kidding. So Taylor Swift, Michelle Obama, people like that. Imagine calling yourself the party of democracy. Well, this is exactly what I said when I knew they were going to kick Biden out after the debate. I said, this is the gaslighting, and it's even worse than what he's saying. 2016, the primaries were rigged for Hillary. Liberals will admit it. A lot of the far left people were stomping on the ground because they knew it against Bernie. All of the establishment wanted Hillary. 2020, they were rigged for Biden after the first big, swath of polling. After the first few primaries were held, everyone was forced to drop out and endorse Biden, and he was the guaranteed nominee. And now in 2024, obviously Biden was going to be the choice because that's normally what you do. The primaries are a sham when you have an incumbent. That makes perfect sense. That's not the issue. The issue would be them squeezing Biden out after already winning the primary process because they know he can't win. That would be the problem, and they're the party of democracy. Their last 3 primaries, if they do squeeze Biden out, will have been decided by the donors and not by the Democratic Party, the people, the citizens. And unfortunately, they really don't make a big stink out of it because they're so controlled by their leaders. They're not going to say anything bad about it. So this is actually worse than what the tweet is saying. It's been 3 straight election cycles now if they do remove Biden. And they are trying to remove Biden. It's clear it's a power struggle. Biden doesn't want to leave because of his family. And that's what's really going on right now. NBC News reporting on the Biden campaign, the money has absolutely shut off. So all the donors leaving Biden, and this could also, this is all about pressure. It's pressure, different things, donors, not giving money, people coming out, celebrities, liberal influencers. These are like grown-ass 45-year-old men that they call themselves influencers. They're all coming out against Biden. So it's constant pressure, and that's what they're really trying to do. A big one here, first Senate Democrat out against Biden. So now they're starting to admit Biden can't win. We cannot unsee President Biden's disastrous debate performance. We cannot ignore or dismiss the valid questions that were raised. So now more and more people coming out against Biden. And now the aides of Biden's campaign are telephoning convention delegates to head off a rebellion in Chicago. So they're calling these people and saying, we still got you, right? What a mess this is. But this is the recent stuff on Biden. In looking at this I would say is Trump's easiest path right now to get to 281. Very, very simple. And really just, I would say, you could say 4 swing states if you include North Carolina. But North Carolina, I think right now, probably pretty safe to Trump. Maybe put it like that. Other than that, this is a Trump stranglehold. And I will caution people, what we're seeing right now, inevitably it's going to get tighter. It has to get tighter unless the Democrats are that incompetent or unless Biden is so bullheaded. I will say this, if they stick with Biden, I do think the polls are probably not going to get much closer because the cat is out of the bag. CNN hates Biden. All of these liberals are going against Biden. How can they just come back like little fish? It doesn't make any sense. Like, Biden is not getting is not getting healthier, he's not getting younger. He is the same person. So you can't say one day Biden is so cognitively declined, we have to replace him with Kamala. And then once you realize it's not happening, say, oh, Biden's cured, he's fine. That's not how it works. The independent people are not going to buy it. It's so disingenuous. They're forced to replace Biden. And if they don't replace him, it's going to look kind of like this. If they do replace him, there's going to be an immediate launch fake hype campaign. Kamala's great. She's this leader, and they're going to try and rally behind her, and maybe they will get a little momentum with the convention in August and all of that and all the people speaking there. But I don't think it's going to be anything crazy. Either way, it's a lose-lose situation. Both candidates are losers. I don't think either of them are beating Trump. They did this to themselves. They backed themselves into a corner. This is a DEI election loss. That's what I'm going to start calling this, because the dynamic here, we all knew Biden probably wouldn't be able to serve the 4 years. I said it back in 2020. You need a strong vice president. They couldn't do anything other than a minority female. There were people on talk shows talking to Biden, interviewing Biden, basically threatening him and telling him, you better pick a minority female because you're a white man. They didn't say because you're a white man, but we know that's what they mean. They're so deranged with DEI. DEI is going to lose this election. It's so vindicating. It's so hilarious. They picked a horrible VP, and either choice is terrible. If they would have picked a young gun like a Josh Shapiro, Biden already would have been replaced probably 6 or 7 months ago. They saw how bad the polling was. The polling's been basically the same. Now, sure, you could say Biden was tightening it a little bit, but Trump has always been, this election cycle, outperforming the 2020 numbers and the 2016 numbers. So they've made their bed, the DEI bed, and now they can lay in it, because that's the whole dynamic here. They picked Kamala because she's a minority female. That's why she was terrible during the primaries. This has all been discussed at length. I said this 7 or 8 months ago. It was going to be a big problem leapfrogging Kamala because of the optics. The only way you could do it is with a Gretchen Whitmer or another female like Michelle. But it doesn't seem like it's going to happen. So this is all crazy, crazy dynamic happening right now when it comes to the 2024 election. But that is going to do it for this video, guys. Make sure you follow me on X. Link to that's always in the description.